Alyssa Goodman is a holistic nutritionist and lifestyle cleanse expert who has healed herself from cancer, celiac, and Hashimoto's. She is the best-selling author of a book that I love called Cancer Hacks, and she believes in nutrition for the body and soul. Welcome, Alyssa. Oh, you're muted. Let me unmute you.
Here?
There you go. No.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you guys. Absolutely love being here. Always love speaking to visionary women out there who want to make their lives better.
Great. So, Alyssa, tell us something. You are the ultimate cleanse expert. And why is it so vital for us to be cleansing? Why do we need to cleanse?
I know, I don't even know how that cleanse expert came into the picture. Years ago when I got into the business, I didn't even know what cleansing meant. And I did develop some cleanses for Cafe Gratitude and M Cafe and Erewhon and Earth Bar. And then I developed my own cleanse called the Soup Cleanse, which I'm sure some of these women on here have done. It's a 5-day cleanse. The reason why I feel that cleansing is so crucial these days is because I think we are massively, massively toxic. I think we have tons of pathogens in our body. As we're born, we come into the world toxic. And those pathogens are viral issues, bacteria. They also are heavy metals. They're pesticides. They're, petroleum-based products that we use. There's like all herbicides, all kinds of stuff that we absorb in our water, in our air, in our food. And also it's passed down from lineage. So I don't think we realize how toxic our organs are. And I feel like when put people on a not deprivation, starvation kind of eating program or cleansing with really great juices that can help get the nutrients into the cells and cleanse the blood, they feel so much better. So we need to lower our loads.
What do you have in front of you? What are you juicing?
So guys, today I am been back on a celery juice kick. I just juiced a whole head of celery, and I'm sure you've heard of the medical medium. About 4 years ago, he was the one who helped me, sort of propelled me to get my Hashimoto's, celiac, hypothyroidism into remission. And he put me on an antiviral, antibacterial, simple protocol. And in 3 months, I was off my medication. I started celery juice because he talks about how it can lower bacteria and viruses in your intestines and in your colon. It also helps detoxify your liver. And what's great is celery, you think of it as a throwaway vegetable, but it's full of minerals and it has loaded with vitamin C. So another thing that it's doing other than lowering like viral loads in your intestines is it is hydrating you. We have a massively dehydrated society, and that's one little tip on cleansing is we are so dehydrated. We are not drinking enough water, and we also don't have enough minerals in our water to absorb the water into our cells and into our organs. So I'm a big believer in celery.
So you start every morning with a head of celery juice that you juice yourself?
I do. I do when I'm sort of, when I'm having little digestive issues, or like with lots of clients who have GERD and acid reflux and the digestive stuff like SIBO, ulcerative colitis, all those things. If they're having skin issues, psoriasis, eczema. I was just talking about how I had a little eczema on my ring finger for a year, and then it went to 2 other fingers. And I juice a lot of greens in the morning. Usually I don't just juice celery. And I just decided, the medical medium came out with a new book called Cleanse to Heal. I believe in some of his stuff, but not everything, because it's not based in science. But I started celery juicing like a couple of weeks ago, and 3 days that eczema was gone and has not come back. So there's results. I follow the result-based stuff a lot of times.
That's amazing. So for those of us who haven't done a cleanse, how do we know when our bodies need to cleanse? Like, what should we be looking for to know that we need to cleanse?
There's so many symptoms. There's like weight gain that you can't lose, like stubborn weight gain that can't come off. There's low energy. There's actually mental fog. Your skin doesn't feel like vibrant, and you're having skin issues like I was, eczema, psoriasis, Even some kind of digestive stuff, big time. Constipation is another one. I mean, anytime when you're not feeling like you're really feeling great and thriving is always a good time to cleanse.
What are your 3 favorite ways to cleanse on a daily basis? What do you do?
So my 3 favorite ways to cleanse are, I'm a huge water drinker. So I tell my clients mandatory when they wake up, 16 ounces of water, because your body is cleansing and detoxing in the night. That's when everything is working. That's when your liver is converting all the toxins and your fat and trying to push it out into the colon. So you want to get up and get hydrated. So you really got to drink 16 ounces of water when you wake up, 16 ounces of water before you go to bed, because that also lowers your stress hormones. And you want to drink, I would say, at least, 60 ounces of water during the day. And if you put lemon in it, even better. And lemon actually lowers viral loads in the intestines as well. It's a bit alkalining. So lemon water is amazing. So hydration, hydration, hydration. I also got tips on a little bit of hydration powder to get you really hydrated. That helps a lot. Then juicing. I'm a big juicer. This juicer, by the way, is not expensive. It's on Amazon. It's called Breville Cold Fountain Plus, and it's $170, $79. Most of my clients now are all juicing. I've twisted their arm a little bit, and this is the most incredible way to actually start a cleanse. And you don't have to cleanse all day, but when you get nutrients at a cellular level, it goes into the bloodstream and into the cells. That's when your body, your cells can start to excrete metabolic waste. Also, you want to cleanse that blood because the blood is getting very sluggish because of all the animal protein we eat, all the fat we eat. We've been programmed fat, animal protein, protein, fat. So, and our liver is getting sluggish too. So these juices, I believe, at the bottom of my soul and heart, I believe they detox that and they cleanse the blood, they cleanse the liver. And I have to say that I have some veggies here, you guys. This is usually, what my refrigerator looks like. And of course, I always have a bowl of beautiful vegetables out. I'm actually kidding, to juice. But, these are some of my favorite dandelion greens I throw into my juice. If I'm not doing celery, I'll do celery and I'll do cucumber. I'll do dandelion greens. Dandelion greens are a major liver detoxifier. So they're one of my favorite. I also drink a detox tea with dandelion in it. Dandelion tea is great. I also love parsley. I love cilantro and kale. And I love also bitter greens. Dandelion greens is bitter. And what's amazing about bitter greens is that they are very programmed to detox the liver. And they also help the digestive enzymes wake up. So it helps the gut and the liver work really well. So that's kind of like a juice in the morning. And guys, it could be really simple too. It could be celery, cucumber, lemon, ginger, romaine, something that's really, mellow tasting. It doesn't, dandelion's really bitter. Kale is kind of bitter. So you might not want those juices if you're not used to juicing, but having a 16 ounce glass of that is your liquid IV of vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients. I mean, it's exceptional. My next thing is, if you don't, a couple things, you can actually put veggies in a blender, in a Vitamix, in a Blendtex too. You're not getting the concentrated amount of nutrients, but you're still getting nutrients. So you still can throw those veggies into the blender and it would be awesome. So I'm not discounting that if you don't want to juice, because some people think it's a pain in the butt. Another thing is, I always am testing out greens powders. So I love this new Aura Easy Being Green powder. It tastes good because most greens powders kind of have funky taste. This is another great thing to buy, and you just stick a tablespoon or a scoop into a 16 ounce glass or one of my EG soup jars of lemon water. And you shake it up and you drink that, and you've got a ton of vegetables in there. You have chlorella, spirulina. So that's my water, hydration, the juice. Also, the third thing is fiber. We don't eat enough fiber. So we're not pushing our food through our body fast enough and getting it out. So we maybe eat 15 grams of fiber. So I'm trying to get clients to eat 25, and 35 is like the ultimate. And that can be rough on some people because they're not used to it. But as you go along and you increase slowly, you'll notice your digestion will work better. Everything will, be smoother. And sometimes you may be able to even be, go to the bathroom a couple times a day, which is what we're really supposed to do when we're cleansing. So those are my favorite things. I just want to tell you a little story, a study that I actually had on my Insta story. If anybody follows me yesterday, I love this research study. It was done by Zach Bush. I love him as well. And in University of Virginia, they gave college students 2 pieces of pizza, 800 calories, and then they also gave them a plant-based meal of 800 calories. And the students were really funny because they were like, oh my God, I have to eat so much plant-based to get to the 800 calories versus the 2 pieces of pizza. And then they measured the transit time that it took to get through the small intestine, not the colon, but just the small intestine. And the pizza took 14 hours. That plant-based meal took 90 minutes. So reason why I'm telling you that is because, cleansing is about eating real food and mostly plant-based. It doesn't mean you can't have animal protein, can't have some fat, can't have some complex carbs, all of that is good, but you just don't want to overdo it. So when you're eating more plant-based, you're going to be cleansing better and then more efficiently, and your body's just going to be working better.
Right. So Alyssa, what are some good foods? You talk about plant-based. What are good foods that are detoxing that we should be eating and incorporating? And how do we get our 25 grams of fiber in? What should we be eating for that?
So the plant-based foods are, tons of vegetables, all the leafy greens. Having a salad for lunch is amazing. Any kind of mixed greens, romaine even, arugula, watercress, like kale, I said, spinach, all the leafy greens are like full of nutrients. And it's really great to have a salad for lunch and maybe have a side salad for dinner is like a great way to also, again, get the fiber in as well. I'm also a big fan with detoxifying is the Cruciferous Veggies because they have sulforaphane. And what that is a sticky substance which attracts toxins and helps carry it out of the body. So, and that's Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cauliflower. Also, as we know, garlic and onions and all those things are really good for us too because they're antibacterial and antiviral. So at the same time, on my cleanses, I want to be lowering those bacteria and viral loads in people's organs and in their intestines. Because then again, everything works better as well. And toxins are being moved out of the body. And then getting the fiber is really in the legumes and beans. Also, I don't forget about fruit. Fruit is the fountain of youth. I want to just tell you a cup of raspberries is 8 grams of fiber. Like when I heard that, I was like, it was so crazy. It's so full of fiber. Like a cup of oatmeal is 10 grams of fiber. So just like with those 2 things, you can get 18 grams of fiber. So flax, chia, I don't know if you guys know about basil seeds, but they're like a chia seed and they are so nutrient dense. I think they have 2 or 3 more times calcium than chia seeds. They're easy to add into your water or just, into your oatmeal, all of those kind of things, and tons of fiber. So with the veggies and the beans and, all of that stuff, you can definitely reach the 25 grams of fiber.
Okay, so if we're doing our 2 salads a day and we're having our raspberries and we're really trying, we're being good and all of that, and we're still having issues kind of going to the bathroom a few times a day, having issues losing that weight, what do you recommend?
So what I recommend for that, there's a couple of, first of all, me, I love blood work and all of that. So that's probably going off on a different tangent. I do send all my clients to a functional integrative doctor to see what's going on, with their thyroid, their hormones, their blood sugar levels. Because a lot of times thyroid is off and your blood sugar levels are off when I see people that have a stubborn weight loss. stress is a huge factor in all of this as well. And I know right now, it's hard not to be stressed, even though we're supposed to be, quarantine and home, but there's just way too much for all of us to be doing. So stress causes us to not be able to lose weight. It kind of stops the digestive system. It just really screws up, like letting us really like detox properly and sleep. If we don't sleep 7-8 hours and have really deep restful sleep, that's going to be a problem too. We need to reset our hormones during the night, and we really need to reset our adrenals as well. So I think a lot of times I do see blood sugar levels are too high, and thyroid isn't working properly. But the other things too are, intermittent fasting is something that I love if someone has a little bit of a stubborn, weight loss. I really have them finish dinner and then wait 16 hours to eat the next meal. I'm not a true intermittent faster. I do get up and have my water. Sadly, I am a coffee drinker and I can't go without my coffee. And then I'll have my juice. So I drink in the morning and then I'll eat my first meal 16 hours later. And I think that is great for helping people balance, give the digestive system a break and help with the weight loss. And also taking magnesium at night before you go to bed. That is a great thing with helping clean you out too and making you regular and calming down your central nervous system and helping you sleep.
So when you talk about magnesium, if we can move to supplements for a minute, what kind of magnesium do you take at night for sleep? And is it something you can be doing every night, or is that going to cause issues for your organs?
It's something you should do every night. Magnesium has 700 different enzymatic, I think, it's 900 now. It used to be 700 enzymatic reactions in the cells. It has 900. So magnesium is not in the soil as it used to be in the old days. We are so deficient in magnesium. Every time I have a client do a nutrient deficiency test, magnesium pops up like 9 out of 10 times. So magnesium is really important to take before you go to bed. It's kind of one of my no-brainers, and it does help the digestive system and calm down the central nervous system, and it could help you sleep. I love Innate Response. It's a small company out of the Northeast, and it's called Innate Response Magnesium 300. And it's 3 different kinds of magnesium. But magnesium glycinate is great. And if you're a little bit constipated, magnesium citrate is great. Or if you have, citrate is great for like anxiety as well, if you're having anxiety issues. So I love it. And if you're having issues like overthinking, with magnesium, you can have L-threonate, which helps calm down the brain. It's magnesium for the brain. Fabulous for sleep issues. So I'm like all over the magnesium. And now, I'm also all over the supplements, as you know.
Well, yeah. So you are a supplement queen, and women, especially 30s, 40s, 50s, our bodies are changing so much. Our hormones are changing, and I know that we're all different. But are there any vitamins or supplements that you think that we should really be taking on a daily basis?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially right now, Sharon. I mean, with everything going on, there's a few things that I think are like a necessity. I think magnesium is one. I think a probiotic is really essential because our guts really are not working very well and they're not that healthy, most of us. So I right now love this Genuine Health Gut Advanced Health 50 billion, and I have my clients on 100 billion, but you want to test it out to see how you feel. But I love that. It helps with digestion. It also helps with the cleansing process. It also helps with weight loss when you have a little bit more even beneficial bacteria in your gut. Also, vitamin C. So we can't get enough vitamin C these days. And I love this Quicksilver liposomal C. I love it because it is in a fat-based phospholipid, and so it absorbs into the intestines really well. Most C that you take with a pill or a capsule just goes right through the system, and you'll absorb a little bit. But this, you pretty much absorb all of it, and it's like cool. It's at Erewhon in the refrigerated section, or you can get it on Amazon. And it's you just have 4 pumps in your mouth twice a day. It's so easy. I love that. Zinc is another no-brainer right now. Iodine, EIDON is the name of the company. It's an ionized zinc that is concentrated, 1 dropper in your water twice a day. Is sort of a no-brainer. Then also B complex. I like Thorn, Basic B, depending on what's going on for you, because we burn through our Bs with stress. I think that's really crucial. I also think turmeric, you know, it's an anti-inflammatory. I juice turmeric, I eat turmeric. I have turmeric lattes, as you know, on the cleanse, so I always have that stuff around. But I also take turmeric. And right now I think it's crucial for the COVID to be taking turmeric, like 1 gram in the morning, 1 gram at night. Omega-3 fatty acids are also really crucial unless you eat a lot of fish. But I do those at night for anti-inflammatory. Trying to think of what, oh, and a multi, there is a really great multi that is certified organic by Pure Synergy. It's a fantastic company and it's all food-based. And there's the basic one that's 2 tablets that covers all your bases. I love that. So, and then there's a liquid one from, I know, Mary Ruth is also great. Mary Ruth has like a multi 2 ounces in the morning. Oh, my assistant's like dying right now. And a mineral at night. And I love that one too.
Okay, so you're going to have to write all this up for us so we can send it out
I knew
to
I was gonna have to do
dairy
that.
women, because it's so great, but there's no way we got all that down. It was amazing. Alyssa, I have a question for you about intermittent fasting, if we can go back for a minute. You said that you kind of aren't a true intermittent faster because you drink water. Does that really ruin the intermittent fasting?
The water doesn't, but the true intermittent fasters just drink water. They don't drink coffee, they don't drink juice. So that's why.
Okay, and I mean, there's so many conflicting things out there. Some people say you should intermittent fast for 12 hours, some say 16, some say 19. Is there a difference, and why are we really doing it? Are we doing it to rest our organs? Are we doing it for weight loss? What's the purpose of intermittent fasting?
You're right. There's so many conflicting information on everything out there, right? So it's up to you. In terms of the 16 hours, there's studies that say that it helps really wake up your brain, and it helps with mental clarity, creativity, all of that. But, you know, take those studies with a grain of salt. You just want to, like, the reason you could do it for 12, 14, 16, it's up to you how you feel. You want to feel light. You want to feel energized. You also want to feel hungry when you eat that next meal. A lot of us go from meal to meal and never feel that hungry feeling or that hunger pain. So we want to kind of like pay attention to that, because that means our body is hopefully digesting the food a little faster than 14 hours. So we want to get the food in and out, and motility of your intestines are really important. So when that 14 hours, like I was saying with the pizza, that motility is working slow and you want it working fast, like with the plant-based. So like I said, so really it is the reason for intermittent fasting as well is the digestion, giving it a break, giving that motility a break, giving your vagus nerve, like calming down that vagus nerve, because it's very associated with motility, and to be able to put it into the rest and digest mode. Okay. And weight, it always is an issue too. It's great for weight, but also some people with blood sugar issues, adrenal fatigue, even with the autoimmune stuff, we want to make sure they don't go too long. We don't want their blood sugar dropping. So we don't want them crashing and burning in the morning. That's going to defeat the purpose. So everybody's different. Some people can do it, some people can't. And also one last thing with it, I know for me personally, I really shouldn't drink coffee because I'm already hyper enough. And so when I have a cup of coffee in the morning, it does get your adrenals, moving, like you're pumping out adrenaline and cortisol. And sometimes for people who are already adrenally fatigued, it's not the best. So I have to admit, sometimes it's not the best for me, because I'm like, I'm all hyped and ready to go, and then I can crash.
Well, we're not always going to be perfect. We're not going to always be eating clean. We're not going to always, it's impossible. And we're women and we're busy and we're doing so much. And stress is a huge factor, right? So you could be eating all plant-based and you could be eating clean and doing all that. But if you're stressed out, all that kind of gets thrown out the door. So what are some tips on de-stressing that you can share with us that we can incorporate into our lives?
Yeah, I mean, stress is the number one factor that is really shuts down the digestive system. You're right. And you could be eating like a really healthy kale salad or whatever, you know, healthy plant-based meal, and you're really not going to digest and absorb those nutrients. So you're right. What I do for stress, you know, in the morning, I spend like 30 minutes of my morning to start my day. I do meditate. I do follow meditations on the Unplug app, which I love. I love the woman who started it. She's a friend of mine. And so I'll do 5 or 10 minutes, just kind of clearing my head. Then I journal. I journal just for a few minutes, just, you know, setting intentions for my day, how I want my day to go. Like, it's just very much, I don't run to the computer or the phone or any of that. That's sort of my time to, you know, not just jump into stress mode. But I feel like journaling and meditation is crucial these days, just to incorporate into your life. I'm a big yoga girl too. And of course, when you hear that phrase, you know, when you jump on your yoga mat, you know, you try to like let the world fall away. And it does that for me. It's a time when I can really, and I'll do a 30-minute, 45-minute yoga, you know, every day. I try to jump in, or I go for a walk, lowers your cortisol level for 20 minutes. So all of those things are de-stressing. Also, I have some, you know, I love Tulsi tea. I've been preaching about that for years. It's holy basil, and I drink that throughout the day. And it is like, it balances your stress hormones. It's an adaptogen, and it's the queen of adaptogen herbs. So holy basil's been my lifesaver forever. And holy basil comes in rose and ginger and turmeric now, but I love the plain holy basil. And that keeps me balanced throughout the day. Also, a supplement that I love too is Innate Response makes an adrenal supplement that is fabulous. It has ashwagandha and rhodiola and schisandra and holy basil, and there might be one other thing, but that also, all of those things will help, you know, keep your hormones balanced throughout the day, and hopefully help, you know, support your adrenals. That's what you want to do. And before bed, what I have to do these days, because of everything going on, I basically I do a gratitude journal. I just write down 3 things I'm grateful for. What happened during the day, or, you know, 3 things I'm grateful for in my life. And that kind of puts me, it puts me into a positive headspace. And then I always sleep better. I don't have crazy nightmare dreams. And a lot of clients have been telling me these days, right now with everything going on, their dreams are really scary. So
I have a question, Alyssa. If I could, I've
Yeah.
read a lot about vitamin D as something that helps the immunity during COVID. So can you speak maybe just to COVID right now? Any tips you have for boosting our immunity against this kind of a flu?
yeah, you know what? I forgot vitamin D on my basic nutrient list that I talked to you guys about before. Vitamin D is crucial. Everybody's vitamin D levels are way too low for me. And so I usually have clients on 5,000 IU. Vitamin D is huge for immunity. It's also great for digestion as well, they're learning. So, you know, it's like magnesium. It's just crucial for everything working in the body. So right now with this COVID and moving forward, I feel like we really need to be doing our C, we need to be doing our D, we need to be doing the zinc. You know, we need to be also like the de-stressing, that's balancing the immune system that way. And also getting some sun, you know, if we can, but the older we get, the harder it is to absorb the vitamin D from the sun, which is hard. So most people are on a vitamin D supplement. And if you have blood work, a lot of doctors are like, if your blood work comes out and it's like 50 ml on the blood test, a lot of doctors are like, that is great. That is not great with a lot of integrative functional doctors. You really need to be at 70, 75 to really be like in that immune state to fight off this stuff. And there's studies that are coming out with the COVID. Turmeric is really crucial to be taking right now. Also to have on hand, if you get sick, Echinacea golden seal, astragalus, elderberry, those 3 things should be in your cabinet if you get sick, because those things are great. Antibacterials, antivirals, really strong, and elderberry with the C. And then quercetin is something that's coming up right now a lot in studies. It's great for the lungs. So my functional doctor is recommending quercetin twice a day, like 1,000 milligrams twice a day. So I know I went beyond that vitamin D question.
No, it's okay. I want to go back to vitamin D for a minute. You said that you look at your clients' blood work first. So I just want to be wary of all the women who are watching right now to go home and take 5,000, milligrams of vitamin D may not be the right thing for each of our bodies. So I want you to just clarify that.
Well, yes and no, interestingly. I mean, I think right now, I haven't seen a person that doesn't have low vitamin D levels. So I think precautionary, you could be fine taking 5,000, really. Okay. I think whoever's not taking 5,000 IU of D, I think they probably should.
Oh, I heard once that if you have too many vitamins in your system, if you take too many, you just pee them out anyway. So that having an excess of vitamins is not bad for you. Is that true or false?
It's true and false. Yes. A lot of this vitamins that we take, yes, can just like pee out of you. Some you don't absorb very well. There's supplements out there with fillers and synthetics. There's capsules that you have a hard time breaking down. There's supplements that have, let's say you get a 5,000 IU or 5,000 IU of D, but that supplement has 2,500 in it. So there's all kinds of things going on in the supplement market that is a little crazy. It's $1 billion business, so people are pushing them, but you don't want to over supplement. I think your question is that you want to try to get your nutrients from the food. And that's why I do the juices. Or a greens powder in a smoothie, or greens powder in lemon water. I mean, it's just to get those nutrients, bypass the digestive system, get it into the bloodstream so you can like clean up the blood and get it into the cells so they can duplicate, replicate, better because they have the nutrients they need. You can lessen your cravings with that. So you're right, Nina, like you don't want to overdo it. You want to just, you want to feel it out. I always am very energetic with my supplements. If I don't feel like this supplement's working for me energetically, I won't take it. And if I feel like I don't feel good after I take it, I won't take it too. So you don't want to overdo it. You're right.
Okay. So Alyssa, we're going to open it up in a minute to questions from all the women who are here. But before we do, leave us with one bit of advice during this pandemic when we're all home and we're kind of struggling that you want to leave us with, because you have such a beautiful energy about you and you're doing such wonderful things. I'd love to hear what you want to tell our beautiful ladies who are watching.
Thank you. I would say I turned 60 in COVID. I had a COVID 60 birthday. I would say that's not the best to have a COVID 60 birthday. But that being said, I mean, I've never felt better in my entire life. I mean, I feel like I'm 30. So, what I want to say in regards to that is just that, hopefully I'm an example to people that you can, aging can be so fun and you can be more vibrant and you can have more energy and you can recreate yourself. It's a beautiful thing. And I think right now with this COVID time, it's so crucial to be taking care of ourselves, health-wise. And that's what I've done for like 10 years, really diligently. To get to this place. So I think, we don't have a choice right now. We've been pushed up against the wall. We have to be healthy going back out there. And most of us are going to get corona, but we're going to be okay, mostly. So if we, feel like we're in control of what we're doing and eating and the stress and the sleep, we're gonna manage it and we're gonna be okay. So I think that right now it's just so crucial to take care of yourself and be healthy. And the second thing is just, really honoring who you are and loving yourself. I know for years people would ask me, do you love yourself? And I would say no. But when I finally got to that place where I really did heartfeltly love myself, the stress released for me. I didn't feel like I was always trying to keep up or, overwork or be a perfectionist as much as I am. So I think it's like really about, being really kind to yourself, and loving yourself is huge in the healing process. When you do that, everything falls into place. So honor yourself, really know that you're important, and you're important enough to be super healthy and vibrant.
Thank you, Alyssa,
Thank you.
for sharing such positive messaging and for your wealth of knowledge that you're sharing with us. And I think we all walked away today knowing that we need more veggies, more greens, more fiber, and that we need to love ourselves and spend some time caring for our health. So thank you for being here with us today. I'm going to open up to some questions. So people want to know the name of the juicer and the powder again. If maybe you can send this all to us later in writing, so so we can get it. And also a question about juicing with a Vitamix versus does it retain the fiber, is the question, versus putting it in a blender. Do you still get the fiber with a juicer?
Absolutely not. No fiber with a juicer. So I know that's a controversial thing. I don't mind not getting the fiber because the fiber slows down the absorption rate. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just want it to absorb into my body super fast. And I get so much fiber in my diet, I make sure that I get it, that's why I love the juice. And my juice is not a meal, it's just a liquid vitamin, mineral.
I have a question here for the immune system. Have you heard of Mycoimmune by Thorne? What are your thoughts? And for fiber, what do you think of Bios Life?
Bios Life. I actually have not heard of the Thorne product. I love Thorne products though, so it's probably, if I look up what's in it, it probably is great, but I haven't heard of that one. I usually tend to take like individual, supplements. So sometimes when it's a combination of things, it doesn't always work as well for me. So that's why I take the individual C and the B and the, D and all of that. And the other product too, I have not heard of that. Is that a fiber supplement?
For fiber, yes, Bios Life. You've not heard of that?
No. I just do food-based fiber. I don't do any like extra supplement stuff.
Okay, and there's a question here about reading your blood work, and you said something about, is it 50 or 70? You said 70 can you explain that?
Yes, so, these days when you go see an integrated functional doctor, they are looking at blood work so much differently a lot of times than a general practitioner. They're really, there's a range that they look at. And a lot of times a general practitioner will see that you're within range and they'll be like, okay, everything's fine with your blood work. So with an integrated functional person or myself, I've been taught to read it differently. If you're on the low side, there's certain blood work that you want to, like the D, we are seeing research that if you are at 50, that isn't really great for the immune system for some people. If you have an autoimmune or, cancer or anything that's going on with you, you really want to be at 70 to fight it off. And I think right now with just, what's going on with COVID, you want to be on the higher side as well. You're never probably I never see people overdo it, honestly, unless they're taking tons and tons of vitamin D. But a lot of times, when I read, like blood sugar is another example of the blood work. People that read blood sugar, they'll see that your glucose is like 100, like 99 or 98. And what I look at is you want to be at 75 to 85 on your blood work to be in the blood sugar range that you need to really help you with your, pre-diabetes or any kind of diabetic kind of stuff that might be coming along the pipe, or you, really digesting and processing your sugars, or weight loss as well. I see numbers like also with the thyroid, there's thyroid numbers for me are lower than most general practitioners. So when I get people down in a lower range, they just feel better and then everything works. So you really want to get to the root cause of, you know, why anybody's feeling the way they are. And sometimes, you know, the blood work is super helpful with that.
Thank you. I have a question, Alyssa, just a few more questions and I think we'll let you go. I know that you have girls, my girls' ages, because they went to school together and they're good friends. How important is it to start our young adult children on this now? Do they need it as much as we need it, you know, given their young bodies?
I think they do. And Nina, the reason why is because these young people have been so infiltrated with toxin loads,
yeah,
and sometimes more than us. You know, there's more toxins in the world than there were when we were younger. And there's more toxins in the food, and we've got GMO happening, you know, that's not in other countries. I mean, there's just a lot of, you know, there's just way too much heavy metals and toxins. And I think that earlier you can start them thinking about it. And I know that my girls just, my daughter is back packing her stuff up in Wisconsin. She just graduated. And last night she was like, I miss that juice. You know, I mean, she felt so well and so energized. And when they start to feel good, when they do eat certain ways, or they juice or whatever they do, you get them started early. I think it's a home run.
That's great. That's great. And when you see clients, do you typically, I'm just curious because I'm not a supplement girl. I find it very hard to take so many supplements on a regular basis. But do you see clients once a week, once a month? I mean, how if I were to see you or, you know, go do blood work, just curious, how do we get the help we need? Because there's so much confusion out there.
I know. That's a really good question. So I send people to get blood work, and then they come to me and I read the blood work, and I see them once we have like a full session on everything they need to do, give them a food plan. You know, a lot of times they're working with one of my functional integrative doctors as well, or holistic doctors, which is awesome. Those doctors send the people to me as well. So, and then every 2 weeks we check in, phone call, email, or they can ask me any questions along the way. So that first initial meeting is really crucial to get to know them. Also, I get to know kind of what their life is like, their stress, you know, what makes them happy, just what they love to do, just all that stuff's so important to get people to a really healthy, thriving place, not just blood work and food, and just kind of helping them, direct them, and then they'll probably see me again in a couple of months. Okay. And I hope to, my issue, what I love to do is I want to get them healthy fast. Like, I don't want them, you know, 6 months down the road still feeling crappy. So I'm going to dig to however much I can dig, whatever doctor I could talk to or get them to, or, you know, we could do to get them feeling good fast. I mean, I noticed this just on my soup cleanse. People do the soup cleanse that I actually don't get to meet, which is really sad. But 5 days later, after being on a plant-based diet with no sugar, no gluten, no dairy, no GMO, no processed food, they're different people. Like, your body resets super fast. So when I see this, my idea with my clients too is I want to get you better fast. Like, most have been going to doctor, you know, not feeling well, and it's crazy. So when people usually come to me, they're really motivated, and they're also kind of educated already themselves.
Right. Okay. I see.
But I wouldn't push the supplements on you, Nina.
Okay. I have a question here from one of our members, and she said, what do you mean by that you cured celiac? Because she knows eating gluten-free and eating healthy is important for celiac, but is there anything more specific to celiac? And, you know, keep it as short or you know, then we'll move on. But
I know.
A very specific question. Thank you.
So I put my celiac into remission because celiac, I believe, is a virus in the intestines. So SIBO, diverticulitis, all those things, is viral issues in the intestines that are wreaking havoc in there. So I did an antiviral, antibacterial protocol, and I on and off for about 6 months. And yeah, my celiac after I got tested was in remission. So if anybody wants to know specifically what I did, they can totally contact me. And it's not a hard protocol. It was awesome. And then just, I'm able to eat gluten now. You know, it doesn't bother me. I don't eat it all the time because I know it's not good for you, or dairy or those things. But I can eat such a more varied diet.
Great, thank you. Shireen, you see some more questions?
Yes, people are loving your soup cleanse and applauding you and wanting to get in touch with you. So when we're all done, you've got to let them know how they can get in touch with you if they want to come and see you. But for brain function here, we need omegas, and we know that. But they're saying if you cannot digest omegas, then what else do you recommend?
I know that's, you know, so the other thing is algae-based omegas are great as well. They have omega-3s. So if the issue is the fish, you know, and all of that, the fishiness of the pill, or, you know, burping up fish, which these days they've sort of perfected, but omega or algae-based are awesome as well. And they're smaller pills. You just might have to take a few more of them. And of course, you know, trying to eat as much clean salmon as possible in the fish department. Like 3 times a week of salmon, you could get your omegas. A lot of people talk about flax and but I don't, flax is a different kind of omega, and you have to convert it into the one that really makes you healthy. So I'm definitely more into algae-based or the fish.
Okay, and then Thea is saying that she saw this great Instagram blogger talk about how she juices every morning with 2 heads of romaine and coconut and all that, and she's got perfect skin. Is it crazy to think of having 2 heads of romaine every day, and does that actually work?
It does. The celery juice, like, isn't it crazy to think that you're juicing a whole head of celery and drinking it? I mean, I'm not a lover of celery, so, and my skin is so awesome from the juicing. Yeah, and 2 heads of romaine. We don't think romaine has so many nutrients, but it's full of nutrients. And it also has a little bit of protein. Like a cup of romaine has 3 grams of protein, I think. So yeah, and coconut water is amazing with the electrolytes. So what is great about skin is like the hydration of the coconut water and those, you know, vitamins, minerals from the romaine going into your intestines. And it just, we kind of should think about our organs. They're a little bit prunish because we're so dehydrated. But when you're juicing these things, they become alive. And then they can, you know, excrete and do the toxins, and they can do the things that they're supposed to do. So.
Okay, and whether we juice them or we put them into a Vitamix and blend them into a smoothie doesn't make a difference other than it absorbs faster if you juice, correct?
Yeah, it just absorbs a little faster. And also you get more nutrients in a juice because you're putting a whole, you know, you can't really probably chop up a whole 2 heads of romaine in a blender. I guess you could, but it might be hard. But you can't, like a whole stalk of celery is going to be hard in a blender. So you're just getting a lot more nutrients IV wise with the juice. But blending is great too. It's absolutely a way to go.
Okay, and then I think we'll close it with this last question because it's almost 10 o'clock and I know everyone's busy, but a question here about if people are cleansing, whether they're using your cleanse, which people are saying they love, or a different cleanse, and then they're really not so good and they don't behave in between. Does that kind of mess up the whole process? And if that's the case, should they be cleansing more often? How does it work?
So I try to live a cleansing lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that I don't go out and drink wine and tequila and pizza and pasta and just cheese and, you know, so, and I just the next day jump back on and do a juice and a salad and just try to clean up my body. So it doesn't really defeat the purpose. You just want to, like, you as often as you can, you want to throw in these good things for yourself. It's all about balance. And then you're not feeling like, oh my God, I messed up, and you're putting the pressure on yourself. You're never really going to mess up unless you're consistently eating shitty. You know, if you're rotating in the veggies and the juices or the Vitamix blender or, you know, green smoothie and just getting a lot of that into your diet, you're going to be totally fine. And it's cleansing.
Alyssa, you're amazing. You're amazing. I'm going to make my celery juice right now. Which actually, I have a really quick question for you before we go. If you don't have the time to juice your own celery juice every morning, is it okay to buy the Sunja Ready celery juice? What do you think about that?
I'm a little bit of a Nazi when it comes to that. I mean, I think it's fine. I don't think it's fantastic. So I think that you have to lose some of the nutrients when it's juiced ahead of time, you know, so some of those sodium cluster salts in the celery are what deplete and lower the pathogen loads in your intestines. So I just think it's crucial to like do it and drink it right away. But I think that there could be some benefit. I mean, I'm sure there's still some nutrients in that celery. And of course it's hydrating you like crazy. So that's also a huge benefit.
All right. Well, keep doing all your wonderful work and spreading positivity. And we were so honored to have you here with us today at Visionary Women.
Thank you. I'm always honored to be with you.
I agree. Alyssa, thank you. I've known you for like 20 years and it's just getting better and better. And you're getting better.
Watched me through everything.
Thank you. And watched you grow and blossom. So it's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Nina.
So thank you for joining us. And thank you to everybody else. Again, we'll have Alyssa send us her hit list and then we'll blast it out to everyone at Visionary Women. And if you want to contact Alyssa directly, of course, you can do that as well. So thank you.